Hi, I'm Matt from World of Ukes, a specialist ukulele store in the UK, and editor of Uke Magazine, the UK's magazine for ukulele players. I've been playing stringed instruments for 30 years and selling ukuleles for a decade, and one of the most common questions I'm asked by ukulele players is when should I change my ukulele strings? In this video, I'll talk about when to change your strings, and I'll be changing the strings on my own ukulele and providing sound samples before and after to see if there's a difference. There's no hard and fast rule about when to change ukulele strings, but the first thing I would say is that if you're not keen on the sound your ukulele makes, trying a different brand of strings is a good idea. I've known many people who are indifferent to their ukulele's tone find a new love for that instrument when switching to a different new set of strings. Indeed, here at World of Ukes, in many cases I restring new ukuleles after experimenting to see which string type works best. For example, this is an Eden Origin tenor ukulele that I designed and have made for me. When they come from the factory, I restring them with Worth Browns because I prefer that sound and want customers to get a uke where the strings bring out the best in it. I can't say what the best strings are for you, as people have different tastes, but if you're not keen on the sound you have, try some new strings. For me though, I tend to know, or at least suspect, I'm due a string change when I feel like I can hear a difference. Perhaps your ukulele doesn't sound as bright or as clear as it did, or the sustain, that's the length of time each string rings out for, is reduced. It's tricky as strings usually deteriorate over time, so you don't get a sudden drop off that alerts you that you need to change strings. But as you get more experienced with the uke, you might begin to perceive that your instrument doesn't sound quite as good as it should. Over time, strings can get little indents in them, which affects how they vibrate. If you run your fingernail down the underside of each string, you might feel little dents, usually where the string meets the frets. The more this wear occurs, the more it affects how the string vibrates and how it sounds. But even if you can't feel anything, strings can still go off because of the constant tension and the tuning and retuning. I will stress again though that if you can't hear any issues and you're enjoying yourself, you can save yourself the trouble of changing strings. Another time to change the strings is simply to experiment with different types, if you fancy a change, to see what different brands sound like. On my own ukulele, which I've had for 6 years, I've had Aquila Nalgut strings, Worth Clears, my own brand World of Ukes Clarity strings, Aldrin Gruero strings, Worth Browns, and most recently a Nui Nui Clearwater fluorocarbon strings. On occasion I've changed strings just out of curiosity to see what a different brand will sound like. It's a bit like thinking the grass is always greener, because I always wonder if different strings will lead to an improvement. Today though, I'm going to change to exactly the same strings that I've been using before, those are Nui Nui Clearwaters, to better show the difference to the sound that the strings make without clouding the issue by switching to a new type. This is my ukulele, a Ularoo Lahua 3CX. It's been with me all over the UK and Europe, and I've played it in 35-degree heat in Prague and at -25 in Finland. Although to be fair, I didn't have to play it outside there, I just did so to see how long I could stand it, which was about 30 seconds. As I'm in a band and I play a lot, I'd often change the strings a couple of weeks before a festival or performance, just to make sure my uke was sounding nice when it came time to play it in public. But although I've still played it a lot at home, the coronavirus pandemic meant that I didn't have to do this regular string change. All the gigs were cancelled, so I've had the same set of strings on now for 14 months. I feel like my uke doesn't sound as good as it used to do, and when I run a fingernail under the strings here, I can feel little indents on the strings. What I'll do is play a few tunes on my uke with the old strings, and then I'll return and play the exact same tune here in the same room to see if there's an improvement with the new strings. I'm assuming there will be, but we'll find out. So I'm playing the old strings now, and I've come from the future with the new strings. think, but I think there was definitely an improvement. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. Thanks a lot and see you next time.